Today, we're going to be taking a look at the top 100 sales at the most recent vintage non-sports auction. Some of the highlights of the auction this time were some G-Men, as well as the Duke N76s, Washington and Lincoln, and a partial Lone Jack Inventors set break. Yes, I won a few of them, but that will be for another video. There was multiple lots that reached over $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And the bottom of the top 100 is around $400 to $500. We have a ton of cards and lots to cover, so let's start doing that. All right, we're starting off with N145 Duke Cross Cut Cigarettes, a lot of 47, looking at $395. So you're under $9 a card for all of these. Now, I don't know all of these actresses. There could be some bigger names in here, and maybe they'll mention it down below, but let's see any mentions. This is outside my realm, but there are people that do collect these. They don't go for a ton, because there's a ton of actor and actress cards issued in the 1800s, and there's definitely some that are rare, and there's some bigger names that do go for a little bit of a premium, but I couldn't tell you with this lot, as some of the names are kind of hard to read, so you'd just have to know the imagery on it. It's not mentioned over here. So if there is anyone big, let me know. Next, we're going to be jumping into this N2. I actually almost bid on this lot. This sold for about $400. There's 6 of them in here. So, I mean, you're looking under $70 a card. And you have Deerham, Sun, Keo, Big Elk. My original thought was I was going to get these slabbed up. I thought they looked pretty nice. Maybe anywhere from 3 to 5-ish shape. Only reason why I didn't buy them, I have the National in month. And also, I did buy some of the Lone Jacks in here. So it was already a bit of an expensive night. But otherwise, I may have placed one bid additional higher on this one. Pretty good and fair price over here. We have Washington Irving in a PSA 5. This one sold for $395. Even some of the smaller names in the N76 set are going for a bit of a premium now in higher grades. There was a 7 that sold on eBay, I want to say, for like $1,200. That was a common in the set, which was kind of crazy to me. I picked up a Fulton 7 a while back, and it was nowhere near that price point. But it just continues to gain in popularity. E40 Caramel Airships PSA graded set of 15. This is number 2 of all time. And let's take a look at this set. I wonder if this has the Wright brothers in here. I'm pretty sure it does. And let's take a look. It should have the Wright brothers. We can take a look what that grade is. Here you go, Wright brothers. So I actually have this card, I want to say in a 4. Maybe it's a 5. What did I pay for that? Was it 75 bucks? What, 3? It was 15 cards, right? At 400 bucks. Probably not a horrible buy if it's the number 2 set of all time. But yeah, I just have that one solo card. Another lot I almost bid on. Isaac Murphy over here, I feel is worth at least $300 to $400. I mean, this sold for 400 bucks. So all your money's in there, and then you have 2 other jockeys. I don't know what the commons go for right now. They don't look too bad. I mean, I know there's some staining and stuff like that and pencil marks. So you're looking at like 1 to 2-ish grades, but there's still people that want to complete the set. This says good eye appeal on the front. This is okay eye appeal. Pretty good buy, I would assume. I mean, let's say you sell the Murphy for 400. You sell these for what, 50, 75 bucks each? Looking at 550. For 400, pretty good. We have a G-Men at 371. There's a lot of short prints and things like that in the G-Men set. I had a collector that I talked to once that gave me all the information. I can't remember on top of my head. There's just so many sets to memorize, but I would assume that this is like one of the high numbers, or there's numbers like on the left versus right, some copyrights. There's a lot over here. There are the lone left skip variations. I don't know. Either way, this sold for $416. I need to have better notes on these because I do see a lot of G-Men sometimes in comment boxes and things like that. So may have some luck, but I feel like those are already cherry picked. And 167, Parnell, Major Knapp. And no, I'm not too familiar with who this is. I don't know. There's a Buffalo Bill in this set, though. It's pretty expensive. I mean, me not knowing who this is, he still could be a bigger name. I don't know everyone in history. Up at 421 bucks. 1910 Boys Comic UK #1 registry set. This is sweet, and complete set of 4. Let's see. So you have Buffalo Bill, Wild Bill, Texas Jack, and Mexican Joe. $100 a card. I think that's a great buy. I mean, Buffalo Bill, I assume, is a pretty nice sell, and same with Wild Bill on here. I think you could get more than $100 each of those, but I don't know what the market is currently on these two. And I don't see these that often, but I feel like these are those type of cards you can put in your showcase, and people will point to those cards and go, "Wow, this is pretty sick." And sometimes you need those type of cards in your showcase to get people over there. And I feel like this set just has that type of design. And I missed this when I was going through it. So there's a lot of auction lots. It's easy to miss stuff. And like I said, I had to focus on getting some loan jacks. And 100 Duke bicycles. And let's take a look at oversized cards over here. T59, we have 450 cards for $424. So you're looking at under $1 a card on these. This is a really good ComC type of lot, or you have this in a bargain bin at a show. I mean, you charge anywhere, what, $3 to $5 a card. You're not going to make your money back right away, but these are kind of those slow burners where you get people to purchase from you over time. And I think this was a pretty good buy overall. We're at N78 Grant. This one sold for $428. I recently actually picked up one of these. I want to say it was like $300 or something like that for a 2 or a 3. I can't remember for sure. And also, this is a good pivot point because if you do want to purchase some non-sports cards or talk to other collectors, I did recently launch a vintage non-sports Facebook group with some other collectors. You can see we have 167 members right now. But the goal is to easily scale this up to 1,000 plus in the long term. We have a lot of people posting right now. So you can see Jerry just posted Outer Limits. We have a Prince card on here. We have Zach selling some cards all the time. But it's a super active group and we just launched it. So make sure to join that. I'm going to post it down below in the description as well as the comment section. We have R157 Uncle Sam complete set of 96 cards. This sold for $431. There's actually some expensive cards in this set. I was looking it up once. I want to say some solid $10 to $20 cards at least, plus some things that you might be able to get graded and get a little bit more. And I can't remember the exact ones in here. But if it's a full set, and these look pretty nice overall. Oh, there we go. The second group of 24 are tougher. I knew there was like a group that was pretty expensive. So it doesn't include those last numbers, does it? No, it does not. Well, ends at 120. That makes sense. Okay, so those were just the first more common side of things. It didn't include the high numbers that are really expensive. Andrew Jackson 3 sold for $435. I have one of these that's an authentic just because it was printed out, or not printed out, but cut weird. It's missing a side and has this over here. It got them in size, but this is a really nice looking 3, and probably one of the highest sales of this card. That price point, $435. Wow. T68 lot of 31 cards, $435. Let's see who's in here. So you have Napoleon, Custer. Mostly commons. $431. Arbuckle set, $435. You want to look for two. You want to look for this George Washington, and you want to look for this Ben Franklin. They have 50 cards in the set, 45 of 50. Plus, it says duplicates. Well, there's a duplicate Washington or Franklin. It doesn't look like it, but a nice solid sale there. Washington and Franklin aren't too expensive in this set yet. I could see that changing though in the future. T37 Automobile Lot, 5 cards. This one sold for $430 at $80 plus a card. Studebaker, know that name. And mid grades. This set in general, there's some of the early car sets have been really taken off recently. Curly card number 1, always an iconic set. You guys see this in my top 30 non-sports eBay series. This 6 sold for $452. E33 Caramel, number 1 set on the PSA registry. Wow. And this one sold for $458. How many cards is there? 31 cards. Again, perfect. If you're not keeping the set for yourself, perfect type of card show. There's so many dog owners out there. Throw these in a bargain bin or showcase. You'll slowly sell these over time. Another card I almost bid on. I'm gonna look for a little nicer copy though. I know this was graded at 2. I kind of value this as a 1 just because the big paper loss here on the back, and there's paper loss here on the front. Like, don't worry, it's a great card, and I definitely want to get this Blackbeard, and I still think it's a little cheap. In comparison to his 1933 card, which I think 33 is maybe a bit more popular than his Ginter, just based off the imagery. But $464 for a 2. I think that's about right with comps. R144 Wolverine Gum. This one is a PSA 4. China the Terrible. Strange True Stories. Let's look for $464. And a Lone Jack Flower Lot 13 with 1 unknown brand. This card. This sold for $464. What's the unknown brand? Lone Jack all across the board. I mean, I don't see the unknown brand. Oh, unless it's over here. Am I blind? Ruby, 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 Ruby. Oh, unknown right here. I thought they were just talking about like on the back or something like that. Interesting. Okay. This was the first card of mine that I purchased, and this is the Goodyear. I have this card in a 1, but I wanted to upgrade it, and maybe this is a 2. I'm hoping. 152 and $464. But this looks way nicer than my 1. And 117B, complete set of 25 Gale and Axe cards, $471. Something I'm not too familiar with. This card got consigned by Zach, but this is a 1992 Kurt Cobain in a 9, which is the highest graded. This one sold for $476. N219 first series over here. Again, something I'm not too familiar with, and no bids on this one. I know I put top 100 in the video. I just filtered by top 100, so I didn't see this got no bids. So I apologize for putting that in here. Robert Peel. I actually got outbid on this. This is one of the last 3 Lone Jacks that I need in my set build, and someone else that has a set needed this one. Well, he had the trimmed version, so he wanted to upgrade. So that's why I got outbid. I don't think this is a $500 card by any means, but that's why the price is there, because we both were bidding on it to him upgrade his set because he had a trim copy and wanted all non-trimmed, and me to finish my set. But the guy who purchases has the trim copy. I'm going to try to work on the trim copy and at least have something in my set build until I can get the full one. But Robert Peel over here, it says postage stamp. There's a crease there. It's a 1.5. So I kind of backed off once I got the $400. Well, $480 with the premium. R60 Heroes of Law 381. Probably again left-handed, high number, and that's why I went for a lot in a high grade. Another card I lost. I think it was not a bad price for $500. I think that's where about ones go for. But I was bidding it up for a little while. So I thought there was a little bit of room. But you can see there's a lot of paper loss here on the back. All right, we're up to another comment over here. Lawrence Barrett in a 6. $504.56. Mentioned a little bit earlier about some of the comments. Morse, $500 also. Although I'm going to make the argument that Morse should not count as a common. Who doesn't know Morse code? And one of the most significant inventors of the 1800s. I just feel like he's such a sleeper in this set. He gets overshadowed by Edison and Franklin, but still, he should not be going for common prices. William Seward, no idea who this is. $504. It just shows you, like, and again, maybe I'm a little biased because I have an electrical engineering degree, but I think Morse should outsell both of these guys over here. All right, we're moving into this next one. T51 Murad. This has the basketball card. I don't know what the basketball card goes for on top of my head. I think it's a couple $100. So see that goes for 510. I guess it really depends on the shape, though. Oh, it's not in great shape. I guess that's why. Okay, that makes sense. But still, you have 54 cards. I mean, you're less than $10 a card on those. Another card I got outbid on. I have a Davey and a 1, but I know another person that was building his Lone Jack set. And this was one of the last 2 cards he needed. And he ended up winning. And I'm not going to spend $500 for a common in that set, especially when I already have it in a 1. And I think this is a 2-ish grade. It looks nice, but you can see there's some corner damage. Or maybe a 2.5. But a nice upgrade. But regardless, that was the price on this Davey. Then we have an N151 Lincoln. I actually won this card. I thought this was a great price for it. Now, look, it's trimmed here at the bottom. But here's the deal. Like, the non-trimmed version of this is over $2,000. I have a 3 or 2.5, and I put about 2.5K into it. And then I know another person who has or I know 2 other people who have copies, and they spent close to 3 each. The last authentic was last year, and it sold for about $1,000 that was trimmed. And that's before the Lincoln market really exploded to where it was now, because I feel like over the last year, Lincolns have essentially doubled in price. So I didn't expect to win this card. I was pretty happy with it, though, for $500. I want to send this to SGC, get the A slab, and then either sell it or make a trade for something else. N82 Duke Cigarettes musical instruments, near set 42 of 50, and that's sold for $515. The one that I know from the set, I've seen it before, is the guitar. Curious if that's in the slot. There we go, guitar right there. Interesting set from the 1800s. 1955 Topps Funny Foldies. I've never seen these before, so not familiar with them by any means. $518 for those 50. There's like a test issue or something like that. I don't know. I've never seen this. Walter Johnson, Candy, Dick Tracy, 137 out of 144. And I know there's some expensive ones on these too. And when you get to the high numbers and things like that. Did that sell for it? Let's scroll way down. There's $523. What was there in here? 937. It's not too bad. $4 a card. WNC exhibits. Hal Roaches. Kind of an interesting set. Again, something I'm not familiar with, but $528. These. When you have tough in all capitals on this auction, you know this is a tough set. And if 5 over here, I don't recognize any of these names, which they could be still big names. I just don't know them. But $528, $100 each. N3 Arms of All Nations, $528. This one more popular in the set, I would believe. Tomahawk. I actually picked up a few of these over in the UK, but nowhere near this 6th shape. There's quite a few people actually building this set that I'm aware of, and I think it's a pretty cool one. And no, I will not be building it. Hawthorne over here. I think that's how you pronounce it. $555. Well, a little bit more of a famous author. I have a copy, I think, in my PC of like a 2 or 3. Can't remember for sure. And then Captain John Smith. And both these outsold Morse. Still think Morse should be above, but I don't know how many 6s exist. And this is also a new label. Looks really nice. Horrors of War, $277, $547. This is an interesting one because I have an E50 Teddy Roosevelt. I'm pretty sure in a lot that I picked up in this auction that went a lot cheaper had the E50 in there as well. And I paid nowhere near 561 bucks. I paid like 200. I don't know if I'm going to go over all my pickups in this video or I'll make another video about it and talk to some other collectors. Something I'm kind of thinking about. Probably another video. What people picked up at the Vintage Non-Sports auction. I think it'd be fun to do. But regardless, that's a huge price for a Teddy. We'll see one of the Teddy quote-unquote rookie cards a little bit later. 1956 present complete set of 36 cards, $561. It seems pretty high to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some of the graded stuff goes for a lot. It just seems like a very high price point for that set. Robert Lee. Looks like there's a lot of staining and stuff like that here on the back. $571. A lot of his stuff has been really picking up recently. J1 Beautiful Birds, $581. Some people just pass on birds and different things than animals, but there's collectors for that in the non-sports sphere. Another card I was going to bid on, or I actually did bid on this. I bid all the way up to $500, and then I got outbid again, and I passed. But I have 2 Whitneys and a 1. One has writing, one doesn't. This was a nice copy, figured 4-ish. But I'm not going to pay $580 for Eli Whitney. I'll just wait for the next one. T59, complete set, 200 cards, $584. Mentioned a little bit earlier some of these flags. And you're buying them for $2, $3, whatever. I mean, these will do well on bargain bins. Up next, we have the N91 Duke Yacht Colors complete set. $500, but there was 0 bids on this, so technically it did not sell. 1950 Topps Freedom War panel, an open pack. You send this to PSA and you get this slabbed up if it's very, very tough, like in full cap. The pack, and you can say update. Many questions about this pack. The pack sealed in a vinyl packet that looks like GAI packaging seal, but is not GAI enclosure. Response was, Tom, it was graded. Maybe GAI took out hard holder because at the time it did not fit in my card album page. If it doesn't sell, you're welcome to send it to PSA, pay for it. And no bids on this over here. Then we're looking at this N532 Actresses, multiple issues, brands, lot of 14 cards. Apparently these were very tough because this one sold for $611. Let me see if I recognize any of these names. So far I do not, although I can't really read them all. I don't know them, but I would assume that there's something extremely rare in here. This did really well. 1950 Topps Hopalong Cassidy Silver Foil Uncut Panel, $618. Then, I missed this one. 1924 Milhoff Men of Genius, 16 cards. This sold for $624. Let's see what's in here. So you have Stephenson, Beethoven, Mozart. I'm not going to pronounce his name because I always say it wrong. Right. No, I didn't see an Edison in, not Edison, sorry, Einstein in the auction. There was some other Men of Genius, but I mean, they're all big names. Don't get me wrong. And $40 card, essentially. Not too bad. $1952 Who's the at Star complete set of 80 cards, $628. Card one's in a 7. Something I looked at the beginning of the auction. I didn't really do number crunching or anything like that. $630 for Gaudi Indian Gum, 83 cards. Probably not a bad price, especially if there's some bigger names in here and some possible cards that you could get graded. $1953 Topps Fighting Marines complete set of 96, $634. $1962 Leaf Untouchables lot booklet stickers and wrappers with unopened pack, $680. Again, something I'm not too familiar with, a little bit outside of my realm of what I collect. You're not going to know everything in non-sports. There's your unopened pack. 1977 Star Wars. What are these graded? 5, 8, and also a 7. Don't know what these do on top of my head, but you factor those into the price. $687. Actually, there's a lot of celeb stuff. C3PO, Kenobi, Han Solo, Leia. I mean, not the highest grades, but still some 330 full set. I don't think that's too bad of a price. I mean, take a little time to build the set, and then there's a lot of set collectors. Man, EA Battleships, 5 cards, $680. I would never predict that. Although I don't know how rare this set is. That is a really cool design. Someone must have really wanted those cards. 1976 Donner Space. 1999 late set. Oh, it's a future set. These were issued in 1976. Number 2 in the registry, $700 for all of these. $10 a card. Then T85 with 4 examples, with high series 4 examples, $700. Actors and actresses. There could be some big names in here. I'll go through all of them, but you can see what it looks like on the design perspective. I bet you I know who purchased this one. Gaudi patent and label registration for Jungle Gum. That is sick. That is really cool. T70 Hoffman, historic events, 24 of 25. Lincoln, that sells always really well. Really, really well. I think I've won one or two of those. Washington, I've had that card too. Sells really well too. Statue of Liberty. But there's some creases and stuff like that in here. But $749. But a few of these go for $100 plus, even in this type of shape. Galileo, $830. I did not expect this price point on the Galileo. Not 100% sure if one of the set builders I know bought this card or not. 1950 Topps Freedom War, 203 cards. Patton, Eisenhower, Marshall are all in the set, $846. R65 Gaudi Aviation. I'm not sure if I've seen these actually. These are jumbo sized. Rickenbacker, that's a big name. Lindbergh. If the Wright brothers are in here. Doesn't look like it. $824. Duke Jokes. 50 cards, $872 on these. Three Stooges, $892. You have to see how these first three look. Look okay. Still, there's some checklists and things like that. You have to see if they have marks and things like that. I guess there's no checklist. Oh, there's a checklist. Oh no. I thought there was a checklist of some sort. Unless I'm mixing up some sets. It doesn't look like that on the backs. Either way. I mean, it always could be in these texts over here. I'm not going to go through all of them. But $882. A card Walt Disney World would not, or I should say the Disney company, would not let be produced today in a 5, sold for $900. R380 Anonymous Airplane Set, 35 of 40, $916. It has Earhart in here and the Wright brothers. Probably not a bad buy on that side of things. It says 1930s/40s. 1930 Lux Toilet Soap Movie Star Packets 50 Premiums, $931. N252 7 subsets. A lot of actresses. Again, I don't know all the names. There could be some bigger ones in here. $946. N127 Sea Captains. Complete set of 25 cards. I love the designs on these. These are awesome. Some of the stuff in the 1800s, they did such a great job on. $960. N342. $988 for these three over here. I need to study these more. I did not expect these to go for that much. Wow. That one's trimmed. That has creases. If you're familiar with this, why did these three sell for so much on here? Is it the names, or is this like one of the first between the acts? I would love to learn more. T86 Moving Picture Stars, $1,000 for this lot of 60. I'm surprised this didn't sell. I believe the consigner actually watches the YouTube videos. We'll have to comment on the non-sports videos. But Pirates Legacy, this is one of the tougher ones to find out there. And this is a Montreal back, which is issued in Canada as well, which is another tough addition on here. 875, no bids. R151, complete set of 48s. Tom Mix, $1,046. Gone with the Wind, great Architects song. I assume it's a movie too, but $1,162. That one, 1950 Topps Up Along. We saw the sheet, but these ones over here. This one sold for $1,200. I believe Enough Said Cards can sign that one. $1,300 for this Turkey Red. Near set 41 of 50 cards. Could be wrong though, but again, we talked about it. These have been doing extremely well. These also stole work. Complete set 360. You have Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo da Vinci. $1,300. Crazy high sale. And I think this one was a pretty good buy on here because you have this Teddy right over here, Teddy Roosevelt. I think this is his most iconic card, in my opinion. Of course, we have also all these from the set, and I wonder if I had the Dewey or not. I don't think that's the Dewey. Let's see. Yeah, it does have the Dewey. That's the second best card in the set. That's his first card as well. So I paid, I want to say $800 or $900 for my Roosevelt. And you throw in all these others plus the Dewey, which I assume is $100 to $300. And you're looking at 14 for 26. Commons probably sell pretty well too. Great buy. Horrors of War. Low series set 203 out of 240. Extremely popular set just to sell commons from. Some of these could be grade worthy. They look actually pretty nice. And that one sold for what was it? Remember, you're at 200 cards, $1,500. You're under $8 a card. Probably not a bad buy. Do the math behind it. R170, 23-24. I've never seen this set before. But this one sold for $1,500. If US is in there or not. It's UK. US is right here. Number 1. All right, let's take a look at these 1962 Mars attacks. And 3 cards in this set worth a lot. Invasion Begins, Prize Captive, right there, and then the checklist. And checklist has some writing on it. Invasion Begins has a little crease. Prize Captive didn't look too bad. You're looking at 1666. 52 Bowman Presidents. 36 cards is sold for 1668. High grades with those 7s and 8s. Nice set overall. Lone Ranger. Set of 120 on panels. 3 original boxes. 1705. Third highest Lone Jack sale. Third best card in the set, in my opinion, is this Alexander Bell. I have a 1.5 in my personal collection. Probably looks about the same shape. Very, very high sale with this one. A crazy sale on this Lincoln at 3 sold for $21.49. I picked up my 4 last year for $950, and I thought I overpaid. I am so glad I grabbed that. I'm not going to talk too much about this one, but a very expensive Horrors of War card. High Series Horrors of War, $21.81. These look really good. Again, something I probably would have taken a look at a little closer if I didn't have other things. I don't collect Horrors of War, but there's a lot of set registry collectors and a lot of people who pay up for nicer copies. Look and see, 135 cards. Now, there are some short prints in this set, but really, you got to look for a few people. Number one, you have to look for Ruth. Ruth and Rembrandt, most expensive in the set. Lincoln also very expensive. Plus these other presidents. Lincoln now is like $100 card. Um, let's see how this Ruth looks. Can't really zoom in, but it looks not bad. Maybe like $400 to $500 card alone. Is there Rembrandt in here? Right there. Another $200 to $300 card at least. I mean, I don't know the full shape. I'm just looking at it for 2 seconds, but you're looking at 2,300. I assume the Ruth is 400 or 500, and then Rembrandt alone $300. You're already at 800 before all the other stuff. Lincoln, another 100, $900. Probably pretty good. And I'm probably underestimating what some of these are would grade as well. R73 Indians 177 at 216. Again, possible. A lot of cards you could possibly grade if they're in good shape or not. I'm not going to go through all these, but some of these short prints also tend to go for a lot, even in low grades. Another card. This is insane. By the way, this should not be a 2.5. I think this looks way nicer than a 2.5. I know there's some staining on the back. Very, very great front. 2401. Wow. And I do know the person who purchased this. He's in the Nonsports group on Twitter. And we're talking about this. This is the last N76 needed for a set. And wanted to buy a nice copy. I agree. This is a great one over here. N78 Generals full set, 2573. Actually, not a bad price. If you think about the price of what Lee and Grant, those were like $400 or $500 each alone. You're already looking at almost $1,000 before everything else. Yeah, 46 left. Actually, that's me assuming that these two are in here. It says 40 to 50. I thought this was a full set. It may not be in here. Oh, Scott and Stewart. So you still have the Lee and Grant. And you have Sheridan, Pickett. I mean, you have all the bigger names. So Lee has that tape, unfortunately. Grant does not. I mean, even though that has the tape and all that, I still think you get 400 on that. Grant, at least 300. You're looking at 1,800 for 46 cards. Plus, you have bigger names. I actually thought this would sell a little bit more. This is a really nice copy. Minus the crease over here. But $2,800. Not that it went cheap by any means like that. I just thought this would crack 3. $4,200 for and Franklin. This probably looks like a 2 also. Really great card. I mean, I would never predicted 4,200 for that copy. These have gone insane. The loan checks. 54 scoops, 156 cards, and 1 extra. This one sold for, what was it? $5,000 or something like that. 58.80. Which, by the way, if you need scoops, I just uploaded a ton on my Check Out My Cards account. So come see if you need any. I bought a lot of 5s, 6s, and 7s. And lastly, the big boy, Thomas Edison, probably in a 4-ish shape. And that one sold for $6,635. I only have a 1. This is way nicer than my copy. But these were the top sales. Let me see if I see any honorable mentions. There's still 14 pages. We'll go through some stuff. And Nonsports Bible, $400. I bought these over here. This is the last one I'll say what I bought stuff off of because I'll make this another video. But and 9 flags, $389 for 32. I think that's not a bad buy. And we'll keep going through. Grant 2, $358. Titanic trim, $357. C3PO Air, that sold for $300. We see that on the series occasionally. Gaudi registration for Rapper R40. That's pretty cool. Stonewall Jackson 245. That's another name I forgot to bring in that N78 set. $235 for that Jefferson. I mean, it looks nice. That 32 caramel. curious what's in this Teddy lot. $200. I saw the image and I didn't look too closely at what was in there. There could be good stuff. Just passed on it. These don't have bids. Pocahontas. Full color bleed. Alright, let me take a look at these. What teddies are there in here? I've not seen that one for sure. I'm familiar with this set. I have the Franz Ferdinand from that one. These have the weirdest texture. And I own this one over here already. Paid $30 for my copy. It's nicer than this. Don't have that Teddy, but the Franz. I don't have this one. That's a really cool design. PSA 5 common, $150. 2 4s. This is actually not a bad price. Sheridan's a bigger name. I think that's who that is there. For 4. I feel like that's almost $100 alone. And you throw Beecher in there. Not horrible. Superman. Lot of 11 for $140. Coolidge. Scott for no 5. Oh, this was the 7 I was talking about that sold for $1,200, I believe, if I remember correctly. Let's see what else. Old Planter in a 1. I just got mine back from SGC. I didn't get it back yet. Mine literally looks like this. Nice front paper loss on the back. $121. I'll take that all day long. It's a good price point to know. We'll go to the next page. Won't cover anything under $100 unless it's on this page, but Washington. I have this one. I don't know if mine's trimmed or not. Susini lot of 35 cards, $100, but it got no bids. You were missing out. I think this is what Zach consigned. Not a bad buy it. I mean, you have Morse there, and you have Eiffel. That first page. I mean, not a bad buy at $100. I don't think. And if you are watching the video, you can always place a bid on these things that don't have any bids. I believe a lot of patents. I'm pretty sure I know who picked those ones up. And put it over here. If you guys want to see another video, by the way, on what other people picked up in this auction, I think it'd be kind of interesting. It actually got proposed by another non-sports collector to me this morning. It'd be cool. And then I can go over what I purchased there as well. We'll make that in a separate video. I know this was longer. I just enjoy non-sports more than sports cards. So that's why I did a top 100 rather than top 50. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in another video.